Now on inflation. Yesterday, we learned that inflation slowed down for the 12th month in a row, down to 3%, 3%, the lowest that it's been in 2 years. This morning, as American families stop for gas on the way to work or check their pocketbooks or go to the supermarket, they can continue to see throughout the country that we're turning the corner. They're seeing more money in their pockets. They're seeing inflation cool down, and they're seeing wages continue to go up. Listen to this. This is important. Wage growth is now significantly above inflation for the first time since March of 2021. This is the work of the Democratic agenda in action, of President Biden's good work. Lower costs for families, higher wages for workers, and millions of new jobs created. Republicans claimed that if we passed the Inflation Reduction Act, inflation would only get worse. The Republican chairman of the Ways and Means Committee claimed the Inflation Reduction Act, quote, will prolong and make worse the current inflation crisis. It's becoming clearer and clearer that they were dead wrong. In fact, since we passed the IRA, inflation has been cut by more than half on an annual basis. Let me say this again. Since we passed the Inflation Reduction Act, inflation has been cut by more than half on an annualized basis. And if that's not enough proof that the Democrats and President Biden's agenda is working, the other major pieces of legislation we passed in Congress, like the infrastructure law and the CHIPS Act, are creating millions of good-paying jobs throughout the country and in my home state of New York. Since President Biden took office, private companies have announced over $500 billion in investments across industries like semiconductors, clean energy, EVs and battery manufacturing, heavy industry. What does this mean? Jobs, 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 and more jobs. So many jobs, in fact, that some of my Republican colleagues who voted against all these bills are claiming credit for the projects and the growth that they're generating in their own states and districts. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but yesterday's report makes clear the Democratic agenda is working.
Good evening, friends. The next round of stimulus is going out right now. Over 200,000 bonus payments are being distributed to eligible Americans. This is thanks to the passage of several state relief bills. And friends, you may qualify for one of these checks, so please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing several winners tomorrow for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dear friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Leaders with the Montana Department of Revenue say they processed about 190,000 income tax rebates during the first week of July. Governor Greg Gianforte signed a bill earlier this year. The rebates are up to a maximum of $1,250 per individual and $2,500 for married couples who file joint returns. More than 530,000 qualified taxpayers are expected to receive these rebates, and they do not need to apply. The Montana Department of Revenue says the average rebate so far has been $968. They are being sent out as direct deposits to bank accounts or as paper checks, depending on how residents file their last income tax forms. The department spokesperson said in a recent statement, it is important that taxpayers know it may take up to several weeks to receive their rebate. The department expects to have most income tax rebates distributed by the end of summer. Homeowners will also be eligible for property tax rebates later this year, which they will need to apply for starting in August. The rebates are up to $675 each of the next 2 years for taxes paid on a Montana property owner's primary residence. Also, residents of Minnesota are eligible for rebates past last session. So if you are a resident of Minnesota, you could be receiving a check by mail or directly in your bank account by this fall, as long as your address and banking information is up to date. The Minnesota Department of Revenue issued a new form this week for people to update their address and direct deposit information to receive these rebates, which are $260 for individuals and $520 for married filers. Families can receive an additional rebate check for up to 3 dependents for a maximum of $1,300. The rebates were part of a $3 billion package of tax cuts. It also includes cuts in Social Security income taxes and a new child tax credit. Minnesota Department of Revenue officials have said that you have until the July 28th deadline to update your information. Revenue Commissioner Paul Marcotte said most people won't have to do anything to receive the money, since a majority of those eligible have not moved or switched banks. Now, friends, Texas homeowners and businesses are one step closer to seeing the property tax relief promised by Republican leaders. This Thursday, both the House and Senate passed 3 bills worth $18 billion in property tax cuts. The money will come from the nearly $33 billion surplus in the state budget. It reduces the school property tax rate for all homeowners and businesses. The homestead exemption will increase to $100,000 for most homeowners and to $110,000 for homeowners over the age of 65 and for those who are disabled. For a home valued at $330,000, the average in Texas, lawmakers said that's worth about $2,600 in savings during the first 2 years. It is also a savings of about $3,000 during the first 2 years for homeowners who are 65 years or older or who are disabled. The legislation also limits increases on appraised values for commercial and non-homestead residential properties. The measure provides savings to small businesses by increasing the exemption on the franchise tax to nearly $2.5 million. State lawmakers said it means 67,000 small businesses in Texas will not have to pay the franchise tax at all. In a statement released just today, Governor Abbott said, "The Texas House and Senate fulfilled our promise with an agreement that delivers a comprehensive, long-lasting solution to increasingly burdensome property tax bills." The property tax relief will be retroactive to this year. The bills do not give a rebate to renters or provide teachers with a raise, as some House Democrats proposed last week. The Senate previously approved temporary bonuses for teachers, but that did not make it into the final bills. Well, my beautiful and most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Thursday. My dearest friends, thank you so very much for joining me here and for being part of this community. Tomorrow, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure you enter the giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Thursday.